Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest here before I get started with this review. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do this review of Raw going to WrestleMania. I honestly was going to skip it. I was being heavily frustrated on how the product has been leading up to this. And last week was horrible. This week is no better. They tried so hard to make up for what they did last week, and it was even worse. It's like trying to throw a drop of water on a raging fire. Too little, too late. And I'll give my full thoughts at the end of this review, but I'm just going to get to this right now. The opening of the show. The only reason I'm doing it is because it's Shane and Taker finally together with no one there, no Vince, no nobody. And it had to rely on them to carry it. And it missed the freaking mark. The opening with Taker, when he began to talk, made no freaking sense. The blood of Vince's son is on his hands, but the blood of Vince is on my hands. This is my yard. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Particularly when you see the situation after Taker, which was not one of his better promos. That was a bad promo. And when you see Shane talking about all the change that's going on, let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. If Shane does win that match, who says Undertaker has to freaking retire? Shane will be in control of Raw. That means he'll be in control of WWE. You don't have to fire the man. And the kicker of this entire situation right now, and I'm saying it right now, if Shane wins, does not mean Taker's retired. The only thing it means is that little clause in there. I doubt that he's actually retiring. Unless when we get to the Hall of Fame and he says this is my last match, I don't buy shit. And this made no sense. And then the fight itself, Shane thrown like a little girl, and then doing the jump from the top turnbuckle onto the announcer's table, too little, too late. It's too late. It was like them throwing some water onto a huge raging fire. One little bucket of water on a raging fire that needed a huge amount of CO2 to put out. That's how bad this was. If this was done 2 weeks prior to this, 3 weeks building into WrestleMania, I bet you would have more interest. Then they would have their little talk after that. Now they had little talk, finally facing one another with no one there, no Vince, no Steph, no Triple H. And now we get this. The crowd in Brooklyn cheered really great for it, but it meant nothing. And that pissed me off. The next thing. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. And we get our little Sasha Banks on the side. What do we get there? Nothing. Why have this match between Becky and Charlotte now? Didn't we already have a match between those two before? Wouldn't it have been better if those two, along with the extra person and Sasha Banks, do a freaking brawl on Raw? Not a freaking brawl or some type of problem on SmackDown. It would have been better to have all three of these women look strong by fighting one another and neither one of them getting an advantage, so we actually believe there's something going to go on with this. But I didn't see that. And I'm leaving it at that. Here's something that I'm enraged about. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We just had Big Show and Kane versus the Social Outcast. And then everybody from the entire... We weren't even told, generally, who are the people that's going to participate in it. And instead of making it special and telling in maybe over a couple of weeks period who are the people who are going to participate, we're going to use smiles all at the same time. And it was dumb. And the worst thing is, you guys tell me below if I'm wrong about this. The Andre the Giant Memorial Calm down. The Battle Royal was supposed to help launch new stars. In a sense, new big men stars. Because Andre the Giant was the first true big man of wrestling. Not Big John Studd. Not the Great Gonzalez or the Great Khali. It was Andre the Giant. Shouldn't the Memorial Battle Royal be designed to get large men over? We have many large men in the WWE. We have Kane, Big Show, Kaz. That is from NXT. We had the incredible, I'm kind of stretching it, Braun Strowman, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Titus O'Neil. These are big men that should be in a battle royal with some men a little bit shorter than them. But in general, the battle royal should be for big men only. So the next future big men can be pushed. And what we get in tiny little men, and then we don't get even a really good build going into it. Cesaro should have been the first man to really benefit from this, and he was buried. Big Show. What did we get with Big Show last year when he won? Nothing. So if he wins again, what do we get? Nothing. This is a joke. I'm going to call it out for what it is. It is a joke, and this show was a joke. Next. ADR versus Kofi. I enjoyed the segment when it comes to New Day. I always have, always will. I loved seeing the New Day win. And Kofi looked very good. And I wish to say ahead of time, when this video is released, my last Kofi Kingston video will be released along with it. I'm releasing them both at the same time. I'm sorry it's late. I've been frustrated. I'm sorry. But the thing that gets me, that should have been done a long time ago, should have been done quite a long time ago, is to coach. Why didn't the WWE, unless they couldn't convince John Coachman to do this, why couldn't they have done this once a year with the Sports Center and have Sports Center cover WrestleMania? Sports Center is a very well-known channel. Come on. I'm not saying it's the biggest, but it's a known channel. People love seeing Sports Center. They could have been doing this for years with Sports Center, unless they were being cheap about it, or Coachman, Jonathan Coachman, didn't really want to do it. I don't know which one it is, but since they do have it here, I love the concept of having the Sports Center actually be involved in this. And I love seeing New Day. When it comes to lads, I don't give a fuck. I'm moving on. Kalisto versus Connor didn't care about. It was Ryback afterward dealing with Kalisto I can barely care about. And that's about it. There's nothing there. They decided to turn Ryback from a really decent face. He was getting over. The people really began to build up with him. And now they turn him to this bullshit. He's not a heel. He's not a face. He's just bullshit right now. He's not even a betweener. I don't know what else to call it. Joan Lunden is getting the Warrior Award. She's a decent broadcaster and journalist. They just wanted to give it to somebody other than a little kid to get better ratings, because seeing a little kid with cancer or seeing someone who's really sick tends to drop the ratings a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. And the kicker of this, they got a woman who's sick and who's just begun to recover from her cancer. Kind of the same thing. You get a little trend here. The Warrior Award is meant for people who are sick and should be feeling sorry for. If I'm wrong, you guys tell me below. I'm not against Joan Lunden. Just that this situation doesn't seem to be right. Should be something different. Should be something like give it to someone from the WWE who's been working their ass off for 20 or 30 years. Shouldn't the Warrior Award be given to one of the staff? And I'm not against Joan Lunden or against the little boy who they built this on top of, in a sense. You know, Connor was the last person who got it. But still, shouldn't the people working WWE get some recognition for all the work they've done there? They don't get any spotlight. It's not like they got a total divas of all the staff in the back. Anyway. Brock Lesnar had a segment with Paulie. Okay. That's about it. I mean, the other stuff happened with it, but I didn't really care. I'm moving on. I'm just moving on. The thing that gets me angry, that'll get me very angry, is two matches that truly enrage me. The 6-man tag of the guys who are going to be in the ladder match. Why did you do it, WWE? There was no point in putting Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, The Miz, Sin Cara, Dolph, and Stardust in this situation. No one got over. As much as people were cheering for Sami Zayn, how did Sami Zayn get over? This originally should have been a match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, or Kevin Owens versus The Miz, or Sami Zayn versus The Miz. That would have been better than they threw everybody together and made this stupid. And it's a repeat from last year. That should never been done. Then you have Emma versus Paige. Oh my gosh. The WWE spent weeks on Brie dealing with Lana. I had a problem just getting that out. Brie and Lana were given airtime. Brie and Lana... I'm botching so bad because I'm enraged about this. These two women have been given time. These two women have been given prominent time getting interviews and having their matches. Well, you know what I mean. Brie getting matches and Lana coming out to interfere. Now Team Bad is now teamed up with some blondes. You got Team Bad and Blonde, which is stupid. It's stupid. And now you got Total Divas versus Team Bad and Blonde. And instead of focusing on what you were focusing on, WWE, or at least never even going there, you went from Brie and Lana to now a 10 diva tag on the freaking kickoff show. Really? This was the most stupidest shit you could have ever seen. And the Usos are now going to be on the kickoff show with the Dudleys. Are you seriously telling me the guys who are the most over, and I'm talking about the Dudleys, people still love the Dudleys, people still care about the Dudleys. The Dudleys, when they turned heel, people had a strong reaction to. And you're throwing them on the fucking kickoff show instead of doing something special with the New Day, with lads, with the Usos. Or you could do New Day with the Dudleys, with the Usos, and basically Lucha Dragons in a TLC match which people would not expect and people would love to see. And you don't do that. What the fuck is this show? I'm not going any farther than what's left, and that is the end of the show and parts of the beginning. And that is what's going on with Triple H and Steph. We get them twice today. Twice. Many people love looking at Stephanie because she has a beautiful body. There are women who love looking at Triple H because he has a good looking body. But you don't want to see them twice in the same show like this. Getting prominent time, knowing full well nothing good is going to come of it. Triple H had a fight with Roman Reigns early that night. He ran. Then worse, he catches him in the back, beats the shit out of him with the Dudleys. And then finally, again, they go outside. Roman Reigns comes out. There's a sprawl. And then they have to call the entire back to try and separate them. What the fuck was this? This show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this honestly. As I said in the very beginning of the show, I was very reluctant to do this review. I was not happy about what happened last week, and this week makes it even worse. This show was terrible. Yeah, you got a lot of new high-flying stuff. Yeah, you got a lot of fighting. Yeah, you got a lot of this garbage. But it leads to nothing. WrestleMania is doomed. I'm being honest here. If I'm wrong, I'll easily eat crow. If anyone says, and when they see it, if the Sleg Daddy says it's good, if the Lux Man says it's good, if even Fool Killer 99, and he does no reviews on WWE, sometimes he talks about it, if he comes out and says this is good, I got no problem with being wrong and eating crow. I am not a perfect reviewer of wrestling. I know I don't know everything. Even Andre Corbell, if he sees and says it was a great show, fine. I eat crow. I'm wrong. But when it comes down to this show, you have no John Cena. You got no Seth Rollins. You got no Sting. You got no who? You got a lot of people that's supposed to really make this show really work. They're not there. And on top of that, what people we do have been badly booked, that are booed heavily by the audience. Roman Reigns was booed heavily by the Brooklyn audience. There were some cheers, but not many. They turned the mics down again in the audience. So no one has to hear how bad it is. They're now cheering for Triple H now, which is good. But Triple H is a heel and Roman Reigns is a face. You're not supposed to do that. This show is a disaster. And as much as people, I believe, are going to say this show was great, seeing all this stuff, I believe this show is so bad that when WrestleMania rolls around this Sunday and we see Triple H go against Roman Reigns, you're going to see that there's going to be very few boos because they're going to turn down the mics in the entire AT&T Stadium because they're going to have no option. Because at near 100,000, even if they get 50,000 people in that stadium only, and they lie about the freaking numbers, and it's only 50,000. That's still 50 fucking thousand people gonna boo for a guy that should be cheered. This show was doomed from the very beginning. And as much as I love the people in it, I don't see nothing good from this show, and I don't see nothing coming from WrestleMania. This is gonna be a bad show unless they do something completely different than what they've been scheduling and what they've been saying. I see nothing here. Nothing. And I wish I'm wrong. I still love wrestling. I still believe wrestling can do something special. Look, SportsCenter is now going to get involved in it. Even if SportsCenter is not a very big company, and ESPN is not one of the most well-known, and as far as I know, SportsCenter is not bad. That's amazing to finally get some type of recognition. They haven't had this in a decade. The sports community doesn't usually cover it very largely. And seeing that they're there is great, but this is not going to end well. But I hope I'm wrong. Please tell me below. Give me a reason to want to cheer for this, because this, I don't see it. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. I will be releasing Kofi Kingston alongside this one. This will go up first. Kofi will be second. I am working on the Uso review right now. Hopefully I'll have it done by this week, because it's kind of hard to figure out what's best for them. Because I'm putting Jay versus Jimmy. Uso War. I haven't figured out a name for it yet. If you want to give me an idea for a name, just leave it in the comment below. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace!